Hello, everybody. My name is Quentin Miller, and I just wanted to go over one of these projects that I had that I was just messing around with here. I do a lot of just small projects to test myself in CodePen, and even though they're not fleshed out projects, I still think they're valuable to show my skills. So, let's just go over this one here for a second. So this was simple. All I wanted to do is just the thought pattern here was have a person. Let me refresh actually, so you'll really see what I mean. Have a person draw a card. Okay, you'll draw your card. Boom, and then you draw four cards. Right, you draw four cards at a time, and then the next person will draw their four cards, and then it tells you your cards. Right. And then it would give you the average of all four cards. And then I did the average and I rounded it up. Okay, so I did seven of clubs. Well, these are all randomized. So it's seven of clubs, four of spades, eight of hearts, three of diamonds. Round that up to six. So it's going to probably be like 5 point something more than likely. But we rounded upwards to six. And then do the same thing here. Do the average. Rounds it to six because you have a five of diamonds, six of diamonds, eight of spades. You do the math and it works out. So let me actually pull up a calculator here. So yeah, just to double check because I suck at math, we'll do 7 plus 4 plus 8 plus 3 it gives us 22, right? And you find the average, so you divide that by all of the cards, of course. So you divide that by 4 equals 5.5. Okay, 5.5, you round that upwards to 6. And of course, it's the same for this down here as well. And as you can see, you draw another 4 cards, just generate different cards. You hit average again, it's a different average. Same goes for here. Another 4 cards, average again, different average. All rounded, okay? And the basis of the game, the whole crux of the game was whoever has the highest average, that average gets added to a score that'll be tallied, and then if one person gets to 50 before another person, or 20 or something, then they win. Okay, I'm still kind of working on that because I guess I can tell you a little bit about my issues here, but I'll go over those after I go over the code, right? So, of course, through the HTML, I put down an ID on the button, create my first button, put an ID, draw one so I can recognize it in my JS code. And then I have another button here. I actually have the button within the button. I'm actually not sure if that is correct. It's probably not. It's just that I did that just a quick way to get both buttons side by side. I know you can do in CS, you can make the buttons just make a row with the buttons. It's just that this is a quick way to do that. But yes, so I have the AVG1 here ID as well, so I can call this button also for the average. And then, of course, I have an ID for the text, so that could be shown on screen. Same goes for the average value, the first average value. And then I just duplicated all of it down here for player 2. So draw 2, AVG2, AVG val 2, and then showing the text as well. I don't have any CSS right now, which is fine. I was just kind of trying to work on the back end here, work on my JS skills, so that's okay. So as you can see, I have a lot of elements here. I have get elements by IDs here, and I also have a one query selector. Just to remind myself that there's different ways to do this. And I have draw P1, draw P2, text1, text2, AVG1, AVG2, AVG val1, AVG val2. They all match, of course, everything on the HTML here, because I was just calling it for JavaScript. And then I placed down my numbers here. I had numbers from 2 to 10, because when you have playing cards, you don't have a 1. You don't have to do it like that at all. This is just how I did it. I have the cards here in a array: spades, hearts, diamonds, clubs, of course all the suits. And then what I did, well, I create my first function. I have a function here, card pull P1 for player 1, and in the function I'm just randomizing each number for within the function. Okay, I had to look this up here because I honestly did not remember that syntax, but that's okay. And I did the exact same thing for the suits as well. So down here, I created a variable, drawn suits, for the 4 suits. I made an array for it, and I also have another variable here for the drawn cards, and within that variable it goes over the random number, or it shows the random number of the suit and then the random number of the suit. So basically this here: 10 of spades, 7 of spades, 5 of diamonds, right? And then I stop it, of course, once it gets to suit 4. And then I have the variable here for all cards. This is number 1 random. Why is this here? Okay, random 1 P1 number 3. Oh, I see. Because I placed this variable here so they could be called. No, it's a whole object here, and I don't know why. I will get back to that, but we'll get back to that one. But I have text1 dot text content players 1's cards are drawn cards, so it just shows this piece here while also activating the drawn cards variable up here. So it's just activating that, and then I have the AVG1 on an event listener with that. It's of course a click. It's listening for a click, and then within that AVG1, I have cards average variable that I created, and it's the all cards dot reduce. So I had to look up the syntax for reduce as well. I knew that I had to use reduce. I just did not remember this syntax whatsoever. And now I remember why I did number 1 and number 2. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, that I had to place as objects, because I remember that was the only way that I knew how to use reduce. I'm pretty sure it's a different way, but I remember I had to place each item as an object within an array, within a variable. So I could call that variable down here the reduce, and then return each number but rounded. So I had to make sure I got that right. I knew I wanted to use round, but I had to remember it was called the math dot round. I remember what I wanted to do. I just remember how to, what the syntax was. It's always the syntax, right? And then I just divided it all by 4 down here. AVG val 1 text content, that's just showing the average of cards AVG, which is this. And then I have rounded, so the player will know that it is rounded. And I have some numbers right here as well. Why? Let me see here. This is funny. I'm going back through this. I have to remember why I did things. Hold on. Let me see something here. Let's just delete this out. and then run this again. Because I think I put that there by accident. I did. Yeah, I put that there by accident here, just to make sure everything's running right. Yeah. Okay, that was just there by accident. Sorry, guys. So next function is literally the exact same code for player 2, for the suits and for the numbers. So we can go down. I now have, of course, just both of my draw P1 event listeners to click, draw P1 and draw P2 event listeners that are set to click to listen for the card pull P1 and the card pull P2. If you remember, draw P1 and draw P2 up here is equated to draw 1, draw 2, which in HTML is these two buttons. So draw 1, this button, and then draw 2, this button. Sometimes I have to do that in my own head so I can remember what everything is, just to kind of backtrack on what this variable meant. So yeah, this was just like a small little thing that I was doing. I am proud of it because I learned how to use, well, I practiced reduce. This was the whole idea of it. Sometimes when I find a method, I want to create a project around that method, and it was I wanted to create something that surrounded the reduce method because I just learned reduce, and I think I did that. I think this is pretty cool. So yeah.